Hey everyone, if you're watching this on replay, thank you so much for joining, and we're just going to give it a couple minutes for people to hop in and for us to get started. I'm going to try to do a tag in the chat. Maybe it will work, maybe it won't. Let's see. Nope, it doesn't want to let me tag. Maybe now? Nope, still doesn't. Okay, we'll just give it a minute. Hey, Erica. I was trying to see if it would let me do the @everyone tag, but it is in fact not letting me do that. So I'm just going to give it a couple minutes for people to hop in, but I'm really glad that you commented, and I'm glad that I can see your chat. Because I don't have the live pulled up on the computer, so I was just fingers crossed that it was going to let me see the comments. But I am going to give it just a minute, like I said, for everybody to hop in. If you're watching it on YouTube, thank you so much for catching the replay there. You can comment either on YouTube or just back under the comments of this live, because even when the live goes down, the comments will still be there. I'm going to, I'm doing good today. I have a cute little shirt that I felt like fit the vibe. Hey Billy Joe, so glad to have you. So I'm just going to start off with doing like a little introduction on myself, not a long one, just a little one, because this is my first live here in WoW. So if you haven't seen me before, I am a Cronin admin in our sister group, Unseen Witches Society, where I do lives there. I have been practicing for over 10 years, and I do really enjoy divination. I run the tarot series with Cheyenne in the sister group as well. I spend a lot of time with the earth and the elements and really just connecting to energies. I have Edgar Allan Poe back here, and just a little bit of my setup. Hey Serenity, no, you're not late. I'm just doing a really brief introduction to give people time to hop in. I'm all about balance, so, you know, I have my main altar space here, and then over here I have sort of my darker side, and then over here is more of the, you know, lighter side. That's sort of what I got going on. And then Poe, he always makes his appearance. Edgar Allan Poe, if you don't know. Alright, so today, I'm going to go ahead and dive in, because I don't want this live to be too long, so that way you can re-watch it if you're, like, needing more clarification on anything. So today is introducing a new program. It's going to be called the Divination Services, and so I'm going to dive into all the details in a minute. But this service is not going to start until October. The first day is, I believe, October 5th. Let me check. Yes, October 5th. It's a Sunday. And so this live is just going to be explaining everything in regards to the divination services, all the rules, all the regulations, requirements, just like the how-to. And this live should be pretty all-encompassing for like an introduction. And there is also going to be a Google Doc available on each week's post that you can refer to, and it will just re-explain everything that you need to know. Just in case you have any like quick questions and you don't want to rewatch the live, or you don't want to shoot a message to me, then you can just check out the document and it will probably answer your question. But that being said, if you do have any questions regarding the divination services, you can always message me and I will let you know. And Billy Joe says, I love it, you two have put so much work into that program. Yes, that program over in Unseen has been running for over a year, and we have put so many hours into that. I am so thankful for Cheyenne over in that program. So let's start with the schedule. What is the schedule going to look like for Divination Services? So it is going to be ran during the 3 full weeks of the month. What do I mean by this? So each month has a different amount of weeks, right? And I want everyone to have a full week. So here in the United States, Sunday is the first day of the week, runs through Saturday being the last day of the week. So that's how the program's going to run. So the first full week of the month. That's why in October, we're starting on October 5th, because that is the Sunday that starts the first full week. Because October 1st isn't on a Sunday, so it's not a full week. So the first 3 full weeks of October is going to be when the program is going to run. So, like I said, the weeks run Sunday through Saturday, and they end Saturday at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and no comments will be accepted after that. So, I'm going to break down the dates just for October, so that way you can get an idea. So, week 1 in October would be Sunday the 5th through Saturday the 11th. Week 2 in October would be Sunday the 12th through Saturday the 18th. And then week 3 in October would be Sunday 19th through Saturday 25th. And the last week is week 4, not a full week, and we only run for the 3 full weeks of the month during the program. So we might not always start the first week of the month if it's not a full week. And like I said, just the 3 full weeks. And the posts they'll like automatically go up at the same time every Sunday in the morning, and I'll explain that more when we get into it. So when we get to the post, the top comment of the post is going to tell you which readers are off for that week. So the post is going to list all the readers that are always available, but the top comment is going to say if somebody's off, so that way the main post looks the same. So just refer to the top comment if you're trying to request a specific reader. I'll touch on that more in a little bit. Like I mentioned, each week is going to, in the post, that's the sign-up post to request a reading for that week, each week is going to include a link to a Google Doc that will highlight anything you need to know about requesting a reading or how the program works. So if you need just a quick little touch-up or catch-up on how it works, you can check out the document and it will tell you. And no worries on the people popping in that are a little bit late. That's okay. You can just catch the replay in the beginning. So, how I mentioned it, it's Divination Services. So each week we're going to offer a different divination. So the first full week of every month is going to be week 1. Week 1 is going to be tarot, oracle, and affirmation cards. Those are going to be the divinations offered for week 1. So any of your readings in week 1 are going to be tarot, oracle, or affirmation cards. Hey, everybody hopping in. Week 2 is going to be rune readings, bone readings, tea leaf readings, candle wax readings. That's going to be week 2, the types of divinations that you're going to get in week 2. Week 3 is our yes or no question week. So week 3 is going to be yes or no questions done with either playing cards or a pendulum. Hey to the people who just hopped in again. So glad to see everybody popping in. And yes, like Danielle said, it's really cool to offer something different each week. Yeah, it's really going to be based on just like the types of divinations. So each week you're going to have a little something different. But like I mentioned, week 3 is only the yes or no questions with the pendulum and the playing cards. While week 1 and 2 are just regular weeks where you could ask a yes or no question, or you could just ask a normal type of question, or just like a general one. Serenity says, OMG, I'm loving the diversity of the different divinations. Thank you. If we at some point get readers that offer other divinations that I did not just list, they will be funneled into whatever appropriate week they would fit more with. And you would just see that adjustment on that week's post. But at this moment, those would be the only ones that we're offering. So let's dive into everything that you need to know with requesting a reading. So you can only request 1 reading per week. You cannot request a reading if you have not left feedback to a previous reading or if you were on the no reads list. I'll touch on both of those again in a minute. You can request any day between the first day, Sunday, the minute the post goes up, to the last day on Saturday. But I will say, if you request on the last day, Saturday, the odds of your reading being completed are lower because there might not be a reader looking to read on the very last day, but there could be. If there's anybody has any questions at any point in time, please drop them in the chat. all reads will be completed by Saturday at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at the latest. So, like I said, if you request a reading, just keep in mind that all readings will be done by Saturday at 11:59 Eastern Standard Time. So if you request a reading, like Saturday, like later, there's better odds that your reading is probably not going to be completed. Also, know that not all read requests have to be completed. So even if you post a request on day one, if just no readers are called to doing your reading, then it might not be completed, because reads are done at the reader's discretion. Whatever they feel called to do, or just really have interest in that particular request, then they will go ahead and do that. You can request a specific reader to do your reading, but again, this could limit if your reading gets completed, because again, then there are less people that would be requesting, would be able to complete your reading, because you're only requesting one person. And like, let's say you requested a reading from me, but then let's say like 4 people requested a reading from me, and maybe I only have the energy to complete 2. Then I would just let the other readers know, hey, I'm not gonna be completing these readings, so if you want to, you can. And then in that case, a reader would probably comment under yours asking, hey, would you be okay if I completed this reading, as, you know, Sarah's not able to? And then it would be up to you if you wanted the other reader to complete it, or if you just wanted to, you know, wait and try again next time. I hope that makes sense. And thank you, Angel, that's so sweet. You're too nice. In-depth readings are done just up to the reader's discretion, so you don't have to, like, you can ask for an in-depth reading, but that's only if they choose to. And then if you just ask for a random general reading, they might go into more depth. That's just up to the individual reader. Is there an option to request any reader? Yes, if you don't specify a reader, then we will just assume it's for anybody. It would only be like if you say, hey, I would like Crystal to do my reading, or hey, I would like Sarah to do it, then we would be like, okay, she wants a specific person. But if you just say, hey, can I get a general reading, then anybody that's a reader will have the option to claim your reading. Dang, why are you guys being so nice in the comments today? Thank you, Billy Joe. I spent a lot of time outside today. I was pretty productive. It was going pretty well, so that's good. Okay. In the event that your reader is unable to provide your reading after they have already claimed your reading, then you will be assigned a Raven reader. If you're a part of the letter program, then you're familiar with the Raven letters. This is holding a similar concept. So if there is an issue that is going on with your reader and the time has passed Saturday at 11:59 and they did not complete your reading, then a Raven reader will drop a comment under your request, and 24 hours, like within 24 hours of them dropping that Raven reading comment, you will get your reading from them. But the Raven readers are not limited to that week's pre-selected divination. Any divination may be used. Let me provide an example. Say it is week 2, and someone has requested a rune reading. Let's say someone requested a rune reading from Crystal on week 2, and it passed the deadline, and Crystal was unable to complete her reading for whatever reason. Then a Raven reader will come and complete that reading. But let's say I'm going to be your Raven reader. I don't provide rune readings for people. Even though it's week 2, I could complete your reading using tarot cards, just so that way you still get that reading. If there's anybody available that will do the same divination, we'll have them be the Raven first. But if there's nobody that will do that divination, we still want you to get your reading. So we'll do your same question. The divination would just be different. If anybody has any questions, totally drop a comment and let me know. I'm trying to explain it all the best way that I can. You still do have to leave feedback to your Raven reader. You would just then leave it for that reader, your Raven reader, rather than the original person who claimed it. So you're always giving feedback to the person that actually provided you the reading. I'll get into feedback in just a moment. If anybody has any questions, totally drop them below. Next, we're going to get into the guide. So there is going to be a guide called Divination Services. There'll be some cute emojis by it. And within this guide is going to be an individual post for each reader. The post is going to have a photo of that reader, and it's going to have, each one's going to start with their introduction, like meet the reader, so you can get to know a little bit about your reader. And then underneath their introduction is going to be like the same spiel on everybody's, because I'm just going to give one to everybody. That's going to be like a quick reminder on feedback and how to leave feedback. But your feedback for all readings that you get will not be left on the weekly post. They will be left underneath your reader's introduction post. So if I provide you a reading, you're going to go to the guide, Divination Services. You're going to find my post that's going to have my face and my name. And in the comments, you will leave your feedback on that reading. Billy Joe, that is a fabulous question, and I'm going to answer that very shortly. So I will get there. That's a good question, though. All right. Feedback in itself. This is where we're going to break down feedback. So like I mentioned, feedback is left in the guide under your specific reader's post. Feedback must be at least 3 sentences long, which do not include a thank you, it resonates with me, or I appreciate your energy used. Like, thank you for your energy used. Those are not going to be counting in your 3 sentences. So here's an example of improper feedback, not acceptable feedback. Hey, Crystal, thank you so much for your reading. Thank you for the energy that you used. It really resonates with me. Thank you again. That is not going to count as proper feedback because we're not really talking about anything to do with the reading. I do understand some readings are very personal and you might not want to dive in super deep. You can still vaguely touch on the things that the reader included in your reading without diving super deep into your personal life. But you have to understand that your reader is putting in time and energy into providing that reading for you, and so you can give them at least 3 proper sentences of proper feedback, for that reading. Serenity says, I'm loving that this is so much more diverse, and I'm loving how deeply you're going into it with the attention to detail is amazing. You know me, Serenity, with details and organizing. That is my cup of tea. Okay. Another reading, like I mentioned, cannot be requested until feedback is completed. What do I mean by this? Let's say you get your reading week 1, you get your reading back to you on the Saturday, the last day of the week is when you got your reading back. Week 2 is going to post the next day on Sunday. You can't request a reading from week 2 until you have completed feedback on the reading you have already gotten. I'm going to rephrase it just again, just to make sure everybody understands. You can request a reading each week, only 1, but you cannot do that until feedback is left on the readings that you've already received. Erica says, I love that we have to use our words besides these 3 sentences. Yes, if you're putting in energy into your providing readings to people, I'm going to make sure that people are providing energy back to you to give feedback. The only way you can grow as a reader is with feedback. So if you do request another reading and you have not left feedback, then your request will be removed. Plain and simple. If I see you on week 2 request a read and on week 1 you've not left any feedback, I'm just going to delete your week 2 request, just whoop, right off the post because you haven't left feedback yet. No worries, Serenity. So feedback time frame. After 24 hours of you getting your reading, if you have not left feedback, then your reader will tag you under their introduction post, reminding you, hey, this is where to leave feedback. Like I mentioned, after 24 hours from your reading without feedback, you'll get a tag reminder under the introduction post. After 48 hours from when you have received your reading, if you have not left feedback, myself or Crystal will message you a pre-typed message asking for feedback. What do I mean by this? After 48 hours, if you have not sent feedback, then you'll get a pre-typed message, which means anybody that does this is going to get the same message. So it's not like it's not like I'm going to message Serenity and be like, you didn't leave feedback, and I'm going to message her one way, and I'm going to message Erica a different way. Everybody is going to get the exact same message. Hey, Crystal. Yes, Erica, I'm getting there. After 72 hours, boom, we hit the 72 hours mark, and you have not left feedback. You've already been tagged. You've already been messaged. You will immediately be placed on the no reads list. Very similar to the bad witch list. And again, you will be sent a pre-typed message from either myself or Crystal, so nobody's getting a different message, everybody's getting the same one, and they'll be letting you know that you're on the no reads list and the reasons why you're on the no reads list. So, let's get into what the heck do I mean by the no reads list. So, you can get placed on the no reads list due to not following the rules, such as maybe leaving improper feedback, maybe not leaving feedback at all, or anything else that's breaking the rules. You do have 2 chances to get off the no reads list. We're being very generous with that. You got 2 chances. But to get off the no reads list, you will have to, 1, let me or Crystal know after we send you the message, like you're on the no reads list. You have to reach back out to us trying to get off of it. We're not going to chase you down to try to get off the no reads list. You have to express interest and wanting to get onto that. And then you would be messaged a message that would just go over the different things that you need to do, which would be if you left improper feedback or none at all, you're going to need to fix that. And then you're going to have to complete a Google form. The Google form does not guarantee you will be taken off the no reads list, but it is your only chance to get off the no reads list. The Google form is going to have a lot of questions on it to try to figure out what happened, where we went wrong, what the confusion was, and making sure that you understand the rules. If you fill out the form in its entirety, then you're most likely going to be taken off the list. It's just going to be if we can tell by you filling out the form that it's just not going to work, then we would go about it that way. But if you get placed on the no reads list for a 3rd time, you will forever be on the no reads list. You will be promoted to no reading. So, like Crystal mentioned, yes, we will give plenty of chances to leave feedback. Like I mentioned, you'll get tagged and you will get a message reminder. So it's not going to be like you just forgot, because we understand we're all people, we're all busy, we all have things to do. It could slip your mind, and so that's why we want to make sure that you have another chance. Crystal said we want to be able to give everyone as many chances as possible. We aren't here to hurt anyone, and we understand that life happens. Exactly. That's why there's the 2 chances to get off the no reads list, because just maybe you were just having a bad month. Maybe just something was going on. Like, there's no way for me to know. I'm not in your life. And so providing you the 2 chances really gives you that benefit of the doubt. But, you know, like baseball, 3 strikes, you're out. So if you're on there for the 3rd time, I'm sorry. It's just you're going to have to stay on that. So let's get into back to Billy Joe's question from earlier. Looking for readers. Anyone can be a reader. You do not have to be an admin. You don't have to be a mod. You can just be a member of the group and you can still be a reader. If you want to be a reader, you have to have available time. You have to have good communication. You have to be able to give coherent and well thought out readings for other people. This will be determined by you will need to provide a reading to either myself or Crystal, just so we can see that you can actually give someone a reading. And also, you will have to be able to understand technology to at least the ability to upload a reading and to tag people in the comments. So not a lot of technology skill required, but you have to be able to upload the reading, keep up with a Google. You have to be able to provide the reading, keep up with the group chat, and be able to tag people in comments. Crystal says, FYI, everyone watching, Sarah Loke created this amazing divination services. She is amazing at handling and creating the awesome, slow connection, creating this amazing service for everyone. Crystal, you got me smiling and blushing. I can't even read this sentence the right way. Thank you. Yeah, this program started on my whiteboard, and now we are here. So, here is some information for you if you want to be, if you already know some. Oh my gosh. Serenity says, if you already know how someone does a reading, will we still be better? Yeah. If you have already provided a reading for myself or Crystal, then we're not going to make you do another one because you've already given us a reading. We are about to touch on that. So, information if you want to become a reader. if you want to become a reader, keep an eye out for a post that will go up in Whoa. It's going to say new reader, like new readers, and it's going to be a sign-up post for that. So the picture will show new readers, and then it will have a bunch of information, and that's where you would sign up. The post is going to be posted tonight. Will be our first one for new readers, because obviously going into the program, we're going to want some readers. So the post will go up after this live. I'll get it posted, and then it will be open through the 12th. At the end of the 12th, I'm going to close the post, and then all readers will be selected by the 14th. So of this month, September 2025, the post is open until the 12th, and then by September 2025, the 14th, all readers are going to be picked. And then, like I mentioned, the first week of readings is going to start August 5th. So even though readers are going to be selected in September, the program itself doesn't roll out until October 5th. Angel says, you're amazing and we can see your passion. Thank you. Carol says, this is like, because for some reason I cannot request... I have noticed Facebook is not letting people always react to other people's comments while you're live, and it is a little frustrating. I've been having the same problem where I can comment, but I can't react to other people's posts. But Facebook is just kind of dumb. So let me give a little recap. So the first week of readings is going to start October 5th. The sign-up post is going to have a link to a Google Doc, like I mentioned, that will go over everything you're going to need to know about requesting a reading. On the new readers post, so on the post that goes up just requesting new readers, there is also a Google Doc that is going to go over everything in detail that you need to know about being a reader. So if you want to be a reader, you're going to need to click on that document and just go through it and make sure that you can agree with everything on there, because that's going to be literally everything you need to know about being a reader. Yes, Danielle asks if you can be a reader later on. Future, like down the line, we're definitely going to be pulling in more readers. So if you're interested in being a reader, but you don't want to sign up on this first one, that's going to go up after this live, then you would just keep your eyes peeled for later whenever you see a post that goes up requesting new readers. I can't tell you how often we'll be requesting new readers, because we don't want to have too many readers at once to try to keep a balance. We'll just have to see as the program goes farther along, but we will definitely, again, be requesting new readers. We're going to get to your question in a minute, Carol. So, like I mentioned, all readers must be approved by either myself or Crystal, and this is done by completing a reading for one of the two of us. If you have already completed a successful reading, what I mean by successful is it's coherent, it makes sense, we can follow what you're saying, then you don't have to do it again, because then you've already been vetted, we've already gotten a reading from you, we know that you have the skills to do a reading. And like I mentioned, anyone can be a reader. It's not limited to mods or admin. So let's get into sort of what goes on if you are selected to be a reader. Again, this is going to be a brief what goes on if you're selected to be a reader. There are all the fine details on the document. So if you are selected to be a reader, you're going to have to provide a photo for your introduction post, and also you're going to have to type up a little introduction about yourself, because that's where, the introduction post where we all leave feedback, we all have to have one. So you'll have to do that. You're going to have to let me know what divinations you're willing to complete. So, like I mentioned, each week has different divinations, so you're just going to have to let me know, hey, I can do tarot, I can do oracle, I can do runes, whatever it is. So you're just going to have to let me know, so that way we can sign you up in the appropriate places. Readers are in charge of keeping up with their feedback and communicating any needs in the group chat. So, what do I mean by this? If I leave my readings, I have to keep up to see if I get feedback. After 24 hours of me posting my reading, if I don't get feedback, I have to go into my introduction post and I have to tag the person. So let's say it's been 24 hours, Serenity hasn't left me feedback, I'm going to go to my introduction post, I'm going to tag Serenity and be like, hey girl, just reminding you to leave feedback. Then, let's say it's been to the let's say then it's been to the 48 hours, because we tag at 24. At 48, you're going to need to go into the group chat, let myself or Crystal know, hey, I'm going to need someone to message blank's name tagging, for the tag back reminder for feedback. So 24 hours, the reader is going to tag in the comments the reminder for feedback. 48 hours, only myself or Crystal is messaging for feedback. So you'll have to let us know in the group chat that you need us to send that message. Because I'm not going to be checking to make sure you've gotten the feedback. So if 48 hours has passed, I won't know to send the message if you don't let us know in the group chat. And then at 72 hours, if we still have nothing, then let us know in the group chat again. And I will, myself or Crystal, will go and handle that by putting them on the no reads list. If anybody has any questions again, totally drop them in the comments below. On day 1 of the week, so on Sunday, the first day that the post for reads goes up, you can only claim 1 reading. So that way, everybody has a chance to claim readings. So, like, let's say it's day 1, and Serenity is like, I'm ready to do readings today. She can only claim 1 read, because it would be unfair if Serenity claimed 4 readings, and then nobody else could get a chance to do readings, because she swooped them up, because she was excited. Sorry that I'm using you for a bunch of examples, Serenity, but your name is right there. Crystal says, will we have a post where we can have readers introduce themselves in case members are drawn to a specific reader? Yeah, so in the guide, each reader is going to have a post. So underneath the Divination Services guide, I will have a post that has my face, has my introduction, and people are going to leave feedback for me under that. And then you, Crystal, will have a post that's for you, and that will have your picture and whatever introduction you want, and people will leave feedback under there. If Serenity is a reader, then Serenity will have a picture of her beautiful face, and then her introduction. So that way, not only is it just organized for people to leave feedback, but then the people that are requesting a reading can just go and read everybody's introduction, so that way they can just kind of get a feel for who's doing the reading. Because maybe, like, let's say I just really need a reading about some chaos, some darkness that's going on in my life, and I go and I read Crystal's introduction post, and I'm like, hey, she would be perfect for this job, then I'm gonna probably request you to do my reading, just to sort of give, like, let people get to know you a little bit. Serenity says, no, it's okay, because I do that. Yeah, it just makes it easier to do examples. Perfect. I'm so glad that you like that, Crystal. So, yeah, so on the first day that the read requests go up, only claiming 1, just so everybody gets a chance. On day 2, claim as many as you want. The rest of the week, claim as many as you want. Day 1, though, only 1. And so, with that being said, there is no time limit to complete a reading after you claim it, as long as it's done before the week ends at Saturday, 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. What do I mean by this? Let's say on the Sunday it goes up, Crystal claims a reading. She doesn't have to complete that reading until the end of the week on Saturday if she wanted to. Because I know people get busy, and I don't want you to not be able to claim a reading and not be able to complete it. So you can claim readings at any point during the week. They just all have to be done before Saturday at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But once you claim them, you have however long during the week to do them. You can do them at your own discretion. But like I mentioned, readings have to be completed within the given time frame by the end of the week. You're going to need to communicate in advance if you need the week off or if you need the month off. This is going to be done in the group chat. I'll send a message and then you just let me know. And then obviously if you're going to be like, maybe it's right now and then Crystal's going to be like, I need all of December off and I already know that, then she can let me know in advance and I'll put it down. But I will still send out a message each week just checking in on people. And that's why the top comment of each post is going to say who's off, because I don't want the readers to, like, I want this to be able to fit easily into the readers' lives. I don't want it to feel like you have to, like, move things around in your personal life to be able to make time for it, because I understand everybody is busy and has things to be doing. So, that being said, the maximum number of months allowed to take off in a row is 2. And so you can take 2 months off in a row, but not 3. If you need 3 or more months off in a row, then just let me know, and then you can just temporarily step down from being a reader. So what do I mean by this? Let's say Crystal is like, I'm going to need December and January off, but I'm good to go in February. Then she's fine. But if Crystal is like, I'm going to need December, January, and February off, that's 3 months, I'm going to be like, okay, I'm going to just have you temporarily step down as a reader, and you let me know whenever you're ready to come back. You've already been vetted, you've already been a reader, you communicated in advance, so you can step out and then come back in whenever you're ready. If you only do divination for 1 week of the month, so let's say you only read tarot, that means you're only going to be reading during week 1, because that's the only week we offer tarot. So if you take that 1 week off, it is going to count for taking the month off, because you wouldn't be completing any readings that month. Also, a minimum of 2 readings, this is answering your question, Carol, from earlier. A member of 2 readings per month have to be done to count as an active month. If you don't complete the 2 readings, you're not going to get in trouble. It's just going to count as if you were off for that month. So then, like, let's say during October, Serenity only completes 1 reading throughout all of October. Well, it's just going to count as an off month because she didn't complete 2. I know she completed the 1, but she didn't complete 2, so it's going to count as off. So then she could still not complete the amount needed in November, and it'd be fine. But if she did it for 3 months in a row, we don't have 3 months off, only 2. Again, if you have any questions, let me know. There is a catch to this. If you're completing a candle wax reading or a tea leaf reading, then I'm only going to require that 1 reading for the month, because you will be spending your money on the candle or on the tea. So let's say Crystal completes 1 tea leaf reading for all of October. Even though it's only 1 reading, it was a tea leaf reading, so that counts for an active month. Or like, let's say I complete a candle wax reading for October. It's only 1 reading, but it's going to count for the month being active because it's a little bit more costly to do those readings. But if you're not reading a candle wax reading or a tea leaf reading, you're going to need 2 for it to count as an active month. Raven reads do count towards your monthly total. So let's say I only claim 1 reading in October, but then I complete a Raven reading. That means I still did 2 readings, counts as an active month. Okay, so if you fail to complete your 2 readings during the month, that will result, like I said, in it being considered a month off, even if 1 reading was completed. Again, unless it's candle wax or tea leaf reading. I'll get to your question in a second, Erica. Just like we only give the requesters 2 chances to get off the no reads list, readers will only have 2 chances for not completing their readings, excluding emergencies or communicated circumstances. So if you let me know, that's not going to count as the 2 against you, or if you're having a legit emergency, that's obviously not going to count against you because we're not cruel. So if you, let's say Crystal just no call, no show, claims readings, doesn't do them, does it twice, then, you know, we're going to be having conversations. But if she does it for a 3rd time, then you'll be permanently banned from doing readings, because we're going to hold the members to the same as we're holding the readers. Everybody is only getting 2 chances to be excused, and if you do it for the 3rd time, you're out of here. Crystal says, I won't lie, I'm really excited to start doing tea leaf readings. I've been wanting to add this divination for a while. Girl, you'd be perfect for that. I love your tea, I love your candles. That's right up your alley. The program start date is October 5th, as it's a Sunday, and it's the first full week of the month. And how many readers are we going to start with, asks Erica. I am not sure. Just depends on how many people request. I would like at least 7 readers. That would be so nice. We have I know I'm going to be a reader. I know Crystal's going to be a reader. So we got 2. So there's that. I'm going at least 7, probably not over like 12 to start with. Just so that way we don't like overload. Because like I said, we'll have to see after the program runs, we'll be able to see around how many readers we can keep, because we have to have readers that have the ability to complete 2 readings in a month. So we have to make sure that the requests are like sort of like lined up. But if we find that we're getting a bunch more requests than we have the ability for readers to complete, then we'll need to ask for more readers. But if we find that all the readings are getting complete with ease, then we won't really need to be asking for new readers until we either get more requests or if any readers need to step away. So it's going to kind of fluctuate just depending on what the flow is. So that is everything that sort of wraps up the divination services. If anybody has any questions, please let me know, and I will go over them. Before this evening ends, the post for requesting new readers will go up, and then you will just need to make sure you read that post in its entirety and read the Google Doc that's on there, because that will highlight everything you need to know. And then follow the directions for what you need to do on that post, whether it's drop a comment, whether it's fill out a form, whatever it is, read the whole post. And then if you have any future questions on how this program works, you can comment on this live. You can message myself or message Crystal, but depending on what your question is, Crystal might have to come to me to ask, because I did make the program. Or you can refer to the Google Docs. There is going to be a Google Doc on the new reader posts, and each week there is going to be that Google Doc on the post, so that way requesters can see. So there's going to be a lot of information available to you. If you're ever confused and have any questions, there is ample places for you to look for answers. Danielle says, sounds good. I don't have any questions. Erica says, I am fascinated about all of this. And Billy Joe says, this is great. You rock, Sarah. Thank you guys so much. Crystal says, don't be afraid to try to be a reader. We do not want anyone to feel under pressure. We want everyone to help each other out. Yes. Like I said, anyone can be a reader. You can be a reader. If you have any interest in being a reader, please check out that post and drop comments below. And I'm so excited to be able to get to know everybody better by providing readings, but then also connecting to all the people who do become a reader. If you do become a reader, you will be put in a group chat with all the other readers, and a little bit more information about that group chat will be in the Google Doc. I just didn't want to include it in the live and confuse anybody. Crystal says, I don't know what she says. It says slow connection, so I'll read that in a second. Oh, she says, I know I cannot read myself, but I can well for others. Yep, and there are some people that can read really good for only themselves, but not for others, and then vice versa, can read really good for others, but not really themselves. But I'm so glad to, get to know everybody. And like I said, if you want to be a reader and you provide a divination that I didn't list, then whenever you get picked to be a reader, just let me know, and we will put your divination in whichever week it makes the most sense to be. Because the more divinations, the merrier, as this is the Divination Services. I'm so glad to introduce this new program to all of you, and so glad to do my first live here in WoW. I am so appreciative of all of the admin and mods that we have here in WoW that make it run smoothly, and I'm so thankful for you guys to let me into this. It is going to be so fun. So I'm going to go ahead and get off because I don't want this to be too long so that people can refer to it. But like I said, if you have any questions, comment below and I will read all of them. I hope everybody has a great night and blessed be.